Yes, I think, yeah, it's still morning time. I'm Van, backyard carpenter. The other backyard carpenter, James, helping out the county, the Board of Education county. But anyway, so we're in another backyard and we've got a challenge, right? We got a pergola that already exists, but it seems like who built it, the slope's wrong, and we're going to put a top on it with three, count them, three skylights. All right, so me and the owner, are a good friend of mine, going back 50 years. We've discussed, how we're going to get the slope. So next thing we're going to do is actually determine what the slope is. So that's what I got to do next. All right, here we go. The thing's still on. Right, this picked up everything you said. I'll edit it out. Okay, my good friend kind of pointed out something that in my little intro I didn't mention, that we're actually putting in top, and we're going to put, the way we're going to do this is we're going to have metal, okay, metal roof. He won't have to worry about it the rest of his life. And we're also going to put up 1/2-inch BC plywood so we can paint the B side and it looks really great from underneath. And then we're going to put tar paper. Then we'll put the metal on top. Most times you just do the one before and screw on top of the one before. In this case, we're going to try to hide all screws. So we're going to go with 1/2-inch BC plywood, tar paper, then the metal, and again 3 skylights. So what I'm about to do, I'm pulling the camera up so y'all can see that I'm climbing up this ladder, right there. See. And I'm going to determine what is the slope. All right, so if I can find my ladder somewhere. Oh, it's way over here. All right, so I'm going to climb up with this level first and see what I got as far as level. Now, remember, this way is level, this way is plumb. Alright, this thing is dead level, okay? For water to get off of this thing, you need at least a 4-degree slope. And so, now I'm going to go get my little sloping device and see what 4 degrees will look like. Okay. Alright, let me do this real quick climb back up the ladder. Alright, this is a slope device, and so what I'm going to do is, we have found out that these are perfectly level, right? And I guess technically, when the guy built it, it could have been level because he never anticipated somebody actually putting a roof line on it. So he kept it right. So with this slope device, I'm pulling this back to 5 degrees. The 5 degrees, actually I just increased it to 7 degrees, and it says that we have got to lower these 1/2 inch. That's good news, that we only have to lower these down a 1/2 inch to get a 7-degree slope. You technically only need 4 to get water to run, especially when you got metal. Asphalt shingle, they absorb the water a little bit, but metal, it's going to pour off. So I think that's excellent news. So I'm going to cut the camera off because the customer is shy and he don't want to be on camera. All right, this is a reciprocating saw. All right, so the customer has been online and looked at every possible calculation that you could do. So what we determined is, if we do 1 inch, we should get somewhere between 5 and 10 slope. All right. So what I'm going to do with the reciprocating saw, I'm going to cut the nails. With the help of the owner, I was able to actually take one of these down. And now I marked this before I brought it down. Now I'm cutting out for the notches. We're doing 1 inch. And then we're going to put it back up. We're not going to nail it in place. We're just putting it back up to see what slope we have. Yeah, there you go. And then, it doesn't matter if the nails are kind of in the way. We just want to see that I get my knocking right. Okay, although I'm not visible in the focus of the camera yet, what we've done is we actually took out a 2-inch notch to drop it down, 2 inches. Now I'm getting ready to slide this across, and I'm getting ready to slide this across and see how we did. Oh, by the way, ignore the music in the background. I am sliding it across now. Alright, now I'm going to go down to use my hammer, if I can locate it at, oh there it is, I've eaten lunch. Alright, and I'll explain to the customer why I had to say that thing about ignoring the music. Here we go. So that should give us the slope we need, and we're still trying to figure out how to use this little slope machine. Right. And of course I didn't put the slope back. And the customer keeps saying he probably got a fine point is, I'm just seeing where the slope is at one particular point. At one particular point, and it's not giving us a true measurement. See, right now it's still saying it's at 0. We know it's not at 0. So I'm going to have to study how to use this thing. Alright, so what we ended up doing, and we notched out 2.5. Customer likes the slope now. We actually have 3 inches difference between the level ones. So what I'm doing now is the fun part. It's called demolition. So I got to start cutting all this out. A lot of rot that was part of what used to be just, it was a decorative end that really served no purpose because the only people that could see it was the neighbor. The customers couldn't see it really, or guests couldn't see it, only the neighbor. So we took it out. It's completely gone. We're going to have to reinforce this one with like an L bracket and on both sides. Alright, because right now it's not stable at all. I can't put any weight on it. So what we're getting ready to do is, in the future, if the customer wants to be able to put a gutter one day to control the water flowing off the top of this, because water coming off metal is a lot faster and a lot intense. So we're going to cut that little decorative end off, and we're still going to have about 18 inches overhang. So that's going to look good. And right now they serve no purpose anymore. Now let me flip that around so I can see. Alright, so we decided we didn't have a choice, and each of the 2x6 rafters had to come down because we're going to have to notch them, and also we're going to cut the decorative end off, so in the future if the customer does want to put up gutters, he's got a flat area, alright, so they can put fascia board and then gutters if he wants to do that in the future. But if you see behind me, they're gone. So now we've also discussed it'd be wise to go ahead and paint everything on the ground instead of after it's installed. That way it's easier to put up. We're going to paint all 6 sides. We're going to have an exterior. I think the paint we're going to get actually has the primer and the paint at the same time, but it's just going to be a satin white. But anyway, that's where we got to today. I'm Van, Backyard Carpenter, at another backyard. James working for the county. Later.
Good morning.
I'll leave that in there.